This PD is a train the trainer, get students started on Seesaw. It is intended for Seesaw trainers that are planning on delivering this PD to their staff. All resources you will need are attached in the description of this video. You will be experiencing this professional development as a participant. Let's get started. This training is designed to prepare you to introduce students to Seesaw. Technology has fundamentally changed the way kids grow up, how they see the world, and how they learn. Think back to your own education. Do you teach the way you were taught? Even before technology, there was great teaching. Please take a moment to consider how technology has amplified great teaching. Please pause the video now. Raise your hand if you are familiar with the term digital native. The term is on my screen. We are all teaching students who were born in a world run by technology. Many of us have probably had the experience where we teach a student how to use a certain piece of technology, and they come back the next day showing us all the cool ways it can be used. They're digital natives. Technology has big implications for their life, including how they expect to be taught. We know digital natives, like our students, learn differently than generations before technology. Take a moment to consider how they learn differently. Please pause the video. Digital natives learn by doing. They have all the information at their fingertips and they know how to find the answers themselves. They often ask questions like why and is that the only way? Digital natives, our students, learn by exploring, collaborating, creating, and approaching problems in new ways. They want experiences that allow them to create knowledge themselves and often get bored when they don't receive that kind of learning environment. We will spend our time looking at how Seesaw supports our digital natives to learn in ways that work best for them. Today you will learn how to support students to explore on Seesaw so that students are set up to use Seesaw in ways that foster exploration, collaboration, creativity, and expression. We aren't just going to show you how to do this. You are going to get to be the students today. Many teachers wonder, what will students see? Let's take a look. Before we take a look, please log in to your Seesaw teacher account if you aren't logged in already. You can access it on the web at app.seesaw.me or logging in on the application Seesaw Class app. If you have a second device, I want to encourage you to use this now. If you don't, feel free to just pause the video and open another tab on your computer. This is the student view. Look familiar? It has a lot in common with what you see as the teacher, but there are a few key differences. Please open your teacher dashboard and compare it with the student view on my screen. Think about what differences you notice. Pause the video to make those observations. You know it's the student view because it says student under class name and not teacher. Students have many of the same options as their teacher, but fewer of them. Also, when students click the green Add button, they do not see the same menu that a teacher sees. As a reminder, the default setting is that students can see each other's work. That means students can see comments, likes, and posts from you, other students, and family members. It also means that if you tag one student or a small group of students in a post, all students will be able to see this. If you would like to turn off this setting, you are able to do that in class settings. It's important to not only know how to use Seesaw as an educator, but also how we can support students in using Seesaw. As we go through these lessons, think about what additional modifications or supports your students might need. This will be different in every classroom. You will have time to plan your implementation at the end of the session. There are 4 lessons that we have created for teachers to deliver to their students. They will cover what is Seesaw through a video, how to sign in, create a post and respond to an activity, The lessons are stackable and can be completed in one day or over the course of a few days. The goal here is not to show students every possible feature, but to give students enough information and support so they can successfully explore Seesaw further on their own. As you'll see, each lesson will follow an I do, you do format. Now it's your turn to be a student as I share the 4 lessons with you. This lesson introduces Seesaw and gets students excited. Let's get ready to watch.
Welcome to Seesaw. We are so glad you are here today. Did you know that with just a tablet or laptop and Seesaw, you can do all kinds of things? Wow! Cool, huh? Seesaw helps you show all the things you know and are learning. You could draw a picture. Meow. You could take a photo and mark it up. I'm circling an important fact in the book I am reading. And you can even record yourself reading or talking about something. As you can see here, 2 plus 4 equals 6. And there is so much more. We can't wait to show you all the neat tools and things you can do with Seesaw. So get ready to have all the fun and show what you know here at Seesaw.
Think about what excites you most about using Seesaw. Remember, you're a student right now. An essential skill is signing in. Remember, there are a few different ways students can sign in. I will show you the various sign-in methods that can be used, but when you deliver this to your school, please only cover the method that your school has chosen. When you give this lesson, you will be modeling live. For the purpose of this training, I will walk you through the different login methods with screenshots. First, I'll show you how to sign in. Watch carefully. First, we click on Seesaw. Next, which button do you think we choose? Yes, exactly. I'm a student. We will log in with our email address. The first time we log in, we will need to enter our class code. It's like our class's secret password. We need to enter the password to get in. We'll all enter the code. Remember, I'm going over all the sign-in methods. Please only share what you are using with your students. If you are using Google, you can now choose Continue with Google. If we're using an email address, we can enter our email address and password and click Create Account to create our Seesaw account. In the future, when we all log in, all we will need to do is click Google. If we're using email, in the future, all we will need to do to log in is enter our password and email. If we are using Clever, we can log in with our Clever badges. We will click on the Seesaw for Schools Clever Login. We will log in with our Clever badges. We click Seesaw for Schools at the Clever Login. This login method is only if you are using class codes on shared devices. You will click Class Code, click Scan Class Code, and then scan your class's QR code. Once you log in using the class code, you will just select your name. You can confirm it's you, and then you're in. Once you've shared the sign-in mode, you would ask your students to turn to a partner and tell them how to log in to Seesaw. Since you do not have access to a student account, for the purpose of this training, you will not practice logging in. When you give this lesson to students, they will practice signing in at this time. The next skill we will show is creating a post with the green add button. As you know, the green add button is the easiest way for students to post. This is great if you give an activity directions outside of Seesaw. For example, if you verbally tell students what to do, or if students are completing a familiar routine. Remember, when you give students lessons, you will model this by creating it live. For the purpose of this training, I will walk you through the steps using screenshots. We have activities for both pre-K to 2 teachers and 3 and up. I will show you both. Watch me as I show you how to create a post. Again, I am logged in as a student. To create a post, click this big green add button. This would be very common if we're doing something in the classroom and I ask you guys to respond in Seesaw. When you click the green add button, you get to choose which tools to use. Look at all these awesome tools. For this post, I will choose the photo tool and take a picture of myself. If you are a pre-K to 2 teacher, these steps are for you. Now that I have my selfie, I will use the microphone. It allows me to record myself talking like magic. I am going to tell something that makes me special. When I'm done recording, I will click the green check in the right corner. Grade 3 to 5 teachers, these steps are for you. Now that I have my selfie, I will click the label tools. I will click on that T on the left-hand side and use the pens to write a few words that describe me. When you're finished, don't forget to click on the green check. Okay, students, take a moment to think about what you are going to do for your first post. Now it's time to create your first post. Since you're a teacher, you will actually post this to student work, but students would do this on their account. Please pause and create your first post. We learned one way students can post to Seesaw is by clicking the green add button. There's another really exciting way, and it's responding to activities. The green add button is great if you give directions outside of Seesaw, but Seesaw activities are great if you want to give directions and multimodal resources inside of Seesaw. Remember, you will give this lesson to students and you will model this for them live. For the purposes of this training, I will walk you through these steps using screenshots. First, I will show you how to respond to an activity. Then it will be your turn. Watch carefully. Sometimes I, the teacher, will send you an assignment right in Seesaw. That's called a Seesaw activity. When I assign you an assignment in Seesaw, it'll show up in the Activities tab. Here, there's an activity called Curious Moments. I'm logged in as a student, so I will show you how a student would complete this activity. Okay, now I'm a student. I can't wait to complete this activity. When you get assigned activities, you will respond using a very special Add Response button. Sometimes I will get a special template to complete. Like this one, the teacher already had a flower on the page. I am able to choose which Seesaw tools I want to use now. Now I complete the activity. If I ever forget the directions, I can always look at them again by clicking View Directions at the top. For this activity, I need to show what I learned this week. I can click the microphone to tell what I learned. When I'm done, I always remember to click the green check. Now my post is ready to be approved by my teacher. Because you are all teachers, I cannot assign an activity to you. For the purpose of this training, we'll skip the you do part. When you give this lesson, students will complete the activity at this time. Now that you've experienced the lessons as a student, please take some time to think about how you will implement these lessons with your students. These lessons were designed to work with a wide variety of classrooms, so it's expected that you would want to customize and modify them to support your unique group of students. At the beginning of this lesson, I prompted you to think about any modifications you'd like to make for your students. What additional supports might your students need? How can you make these lessons more accessible for the students in your room? Please pause so we can share our ideas if you are in a group. If not, take a moment to think about the modifications you plan to make. You may want to chunk these lessons into larger or smaller pieces. You might decide you want to choose different activities to do within the lessons. Some teachers might want to model in smaller groups rather than the whole class and pull a small group to the back table. You might also decide to have students work in pairs. You know what your students need. You will now have time to create your implementation plan. That is your exit ticket to get out of here. You will find all the resources that you need in the handout at the bottom of the description of the video. Visit the URL now, Click on Lesson Plans and complete your implementation plan on page 1. Make sure to pause the video now to complete your implementation plan. You did it! You're ready to get students started. You know the differences between the teacher and student view, 4 lessons to introduce students to Seesaw, and a plan for making these lessons your own. If you would like to dig even deeper into Seesaw, please visit web.seesaw.me/training for free, live, on-demand training on topics like co-teachers, folders, and so much more. Thank you so much for joining us today.